Today I messed up by accidentally committing a felony. This happened several years ago, so I think I'm definitely past the point of this catching up to me, and now I can tell the internet without fear. I was in my last year of high school at the time, and my at the time GF was passively curious in playing the lottery. I have moral objections to it, so I heavily encouraged them not to, but they still dabbled in $1 cards. This was until one day when we went to the supermarket to find snacks. We glanced over at the lottery area and there was someone who bought a bunch of tickets and was cashing in several of them, and a little ways down there was a lottery machine with a ton of unscratched tickets in a big half-fallen over stack. And these weren't just the small tickets either, there was everything from the $5 card to the $25 cards and even $50. There must have been hundreds of dollars worth of cards just sitting there. At first we wondered why they were there, and we came to the realization that the guy that was at the counter must have bought them and just scanned them instead of scratching them off, so they must all be losers. But I mean 99.99999% of the time you're not gonna win the lottery anyway, and maybe, just maybe this guy bought so many tickets that he bought a winning one and just didn't scan it. And so we decided, hell, why not experience what it's like to play the real, genuine, big tickets? We might as well take a few coins and start scratching them all ourselves. As is to be expected, we weren't finding any winners. We did get some kinda wacky looks from the employee behind the counter, but we were young and doing something unusual, so it didn't worry us too much. I don't know how many tickets we scratched, but it was at least a few dozen. We even scanned a few so we could get through them faster. But in the end, you're not gonna win the lottery even if you scratch off 100 tickets, so we gave up. It wasn't until we were in the car and driving away that I realized. It was probably more likely that the employee was in the middle of restocking the machine and had to step away to help the guy. All those tickets were probably brand new, and we just ruined dozens of them, totaling several $100s worth of lost tickets. In the state we were in, any theft above $200 is upgraded to a felony. Of all the things to steal, losing state-run lottery tickets are probably the most ethical thing possible to steal, but to this day I'm very glad that the employee remained occupied the entire time that we were there. Today I messed up by forgetting my complexion. This is not meant to be a racially motivated post. Just something highly embarrassing that happened to me just now. I'm a white Hispanic. White as hell. Straight light-colored hair, white-ass complexion. But I'm Hispanic. Like my parents are from the island Hispanic. It's my neighbor's birthday today. She's having a party. Being neighborly and loving, she invited us to join the party, and at first it's a little awkward, but eventually everyone is warming up to me. I'm drinking a few shots, had a little smoke, it was fun. It's important to note that she and her family are black. This is important to the story. My husband learns that she smokes cigars, and while I was inside for a moment to go potty, he mentions this to me. He also had to go potty. We rather just go to our place since we're right next door, so me wanting to get right back into the party, I offered to take one of our Cuban cigars to her. Here's where I effed up. I walked into the party, said my husband mentioned giving her a present, and then said the words straight from my heritage while presenting her with the cigar. Everyone halted. Of course, they thought I was white. In a black party. Mentioning heritage. This was the most mortifying moment of my life to this point. I had to backpedal ridiculously fast. Explain that I'm Spanish. I literally wanted to die. So yeah. I fucked up because I forgot I was technically seen as white. Today I messed up by not knowing how to act with a girl. Let me give you a bit of background about me. I'm a 26-year-old guy who's never been in a relationship or anything like that. Yeah, I'm pretty inexperienced when it comes to all this romance stuff. Anyway, last year around this time, I decided to give Tinder a shot. I wanted to meet new people, especially girls. I matched with this really cool girl. We hit it off, but here's where things got a bit tricky for me. You see, I'm not exactly a pro at picking up on signals or making moves. We went out a few times, and on our third hangout, we decided to grab some food together. Everything was going smoothly, until she suggested we find a cozier spot before she headed home. So, we ended up at a park, sitting in the car. She kept mentioning that she was cold, and she even slipped her hand inside my clothes, trying to drop hints. Eventually, we moved to the back seats, and it was pretty clear she was down for something more. Well, intimate. Here's the mess up, my brain just didn't catch up with what was happening. I was totally caught off guard and didn't know how to react. She gave me a 30-minute ultimatum to make a move, or she'd bail. Talk about pressure. But instead of getting into the groove, it just killed the vibe for me. I managed to muster up a quick hug, and that was pretty much the extent of my action-packed evening. After that, I dropped her off at her place. After that night, we didn't really talk much. It was like the end of the road for us. Looking back, I can't help but feel a bit bad that I unintentionally gave her the wrong idea, like I wasn't interested or something. Today I messed up by getting caught scratching my balls, and now my mom probably thinks I was jerking off in the living room. I 16M live in a relatively humid area, about 8 km from the sea. Due to this it was pretty hot today and the humidity made everything itchy. It was nighttime so everyone was sleeping and I was alone in the living room studying for my test. Suddenly, my balls started to itch. At first I just scratched them over my pants and didn't think too much about it. It felt better for a while but I felt the itching sensation again after some time. I thought of controlling it thinking it'll go away in a few minutes. It didn't. It was distracting me from doing literally anything. This was the time when I wondered, maybe I'll take a bath but I didn't because I'm very sleepy and was going to sleep anyways. Should have listened to myself and took a bath. So here I am, trying my best to not scratch my balls like a pit bull controlling itself to not bite little kids. It was very hard. I tried sitting in various kinds of positions trying to suppress the itching sensation. I almost thought my balls were gonna pop as I tried sitting cross-legged. After a few more minutes, it was unbearable. This time, my Einstein-like brain had come up with an even better plan. I thought of just following my natural instincts. I let my soul loose like a wild bear in the forest. So I lowered my pants and started scratching my balls like I don't plan of ever having kids. Just as I felt the first scratch, I felt such eternal bliss no human could ever feel. It felt like I've achieved heaven. No. It felt like I've fulfilled the purpose of my life, earned a lot of money, retired and now I'm sitting at the beach watching the sunset with my wife. This was the greatest feeling I've ever felt in my life. I've never even felt such raging dopamine while masturbation. This was the greatest high. Just as I was enjoying one of the best moments of my life, I felt someone's gaze looking at me. It literally felt like those ninja shows I used to watch as a kid. I was in such an enthusiastic state that I didn't even process as who it was. Just as my vision was getting clearer, my heart started beating louder than ever. It was my mom. My fucking mom. Shit, I messed up big time were the first thoughts in my mind. I quickly pulled up my pants. Trust me when I say I have the fastest hands in the West, but it was too late. My mom had already went to her room. I don't know how long she stared at me, or did she even notice what I was doing in the first place, but I'm 100% sure she did see me in that state. Today I messed up letting my girlfriend get me off. My girlfriend, 18, and I, 19, usually spends time at my house to get her freak on every week. She ended up getting her period 2 days before the day we planned to meet up. Considering it's both our first relationship with lust involved, we're no better than cats in heat so that didn't stop us like most people our age would and in the end we just settled for foreplay. On the day we got to my place, I laid an extra layer of sheet on the bed for her and I got to work for her. The neighbors 2 houses down most likely knew my name when I was finished. My fingers were sore from all the rubbing I did and her body looked defeated. I had done my job and now it was time for my reward. With the little strength she had, she started to go down and get me off in between while I lay down. My toes were curling, my body was tingling, my head spinning like I had vertigo. I was never given this for more than 3 minutes before so it was overstimulating to the point where I could have teared up but I couldn't tell her stop. While in my own world with pleasure I could felt something coming. What I didn't realize was that my little guy was curved towards me while this was all going down. I couldn't hold it any longer and the best suffering I've had so far came to an end. But what I saw for a split second was millions of potential lawyers, doctors, athletes and deadbeats coming towards my face in their white liquid form. I got hit in my eye and in my hair, which as a black man with dreads was a nightmare to get out. Almost like this was revenge for ruining their what could be lives. I quickly ran to the bathroom to wash it out my burning eyes and the shower to get it out my locks. In the end my pain did calm down, and my girlfriend never shushed about it once she made sure I was okay.